Hello friends, I made this point. My name is Lauren, and I am an astrology buff, a tarot reader, a Reiki practitioner, and an artist. So I'm a very dirty artist today. But the full moon is coming up next week. It's going to be in Pisces on the 20th. So I wanted to kind of talk about some of the energies we might be picking up around this time. So, as you may know or not know, we're in the middle of Virgo season, baby. Take care of yourself. And because it's Virgo season, when the moon is in opposition to the sun, we will have a full moon in Pisces. I like to always preface that and give that little reminder, at least for the time being, because it was something that really helped me get into astrology and my work with the moon early on. I mean, it took me a few years to finally figure out that that's what was happening, but we're here now, thank God. So today we're going to be looking at, if you have been here before, you already know, we're going to look at astrology through the tarot. Pisces is the complement or polar opposite to Virgo. They are opposed to each other on the wheel of the year. The astrological wheel of the year, babies. Yes, I just got done taking a shower because I could not wait to tell you the amazing news about this full moon that is coming up on the 20th. So, as always, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you like how I connect the tarot with astrology, and so that you can get future videos. And if you would like to support me and a podcast that I've started, the Subnormal Podcast, please check out all the links down below to my Linktree and all that good stuff so that you can either buy my art, join my Patreon, or just work with me privately. All that good stuff down below. But anyway, I digress. The 3 decks that we're going to be using today are the Aquarius Tarot, and I have, the littles, these are little cards. The Smith-Waite deck, of course, goodie, but an oldie, I love it. And the always beautiful 8th House Tarot, so that's this one. So let's begin by looking at how these 2 cards correlate to each other in each deck, shall we? Let's start with the little bitty baby, the Aquarius Tarot. Not the oldest, I know, I usually start with the oldest. But let's look at the Aquarius Tarot here. So Pisces in the tarot is the moon card, and Virgo is the Hermit. Of course, links to my Virgo deep dive will be in the description box as well. So let's have a look-see at both of these cards. And in fact, let's put them this way so these 2 can be looking at each other. Now, Pisces is represented by the moon, and I think a lot of us can see why that makes sense. Maybe you're thinking, why is not the moon tied to the moon card? Well, silly. I'll go into a video about it later. But one thing I want you to remember about Pisces as it relates to the moon, do not pay attention to all the paint under my nails, God bless, is that the moon is an ever-changing reflective surface. And in this one, we see the moon is not full, but it is in a state where it is in the liminal space, the in-between, right? There is a calm presence here. Oh, Lord, if that has to go any farther. Oh my God, y'all. I just got my nails done, and I cannot pick anything up with them. There we go. So there's a calm face to this moon. It's pensive. I would say the moon in this deck is not the most reflective or representative of this card, but what we do see here is the opening. In this space, we see the opening of transit, and we're going to talk about the opening of transition in each card today. Where is the space in which we can move through? But not just with any energy, with softness. Pisces has big soft boy energy for me. Maybe not to you, and that's totally fine. But to me, Pisces is big soft boy energy. Pisces is the liminal spaces. It's the reflection. It is the deepest, darkest waters. So most cards have a little bit more information in them. The Aquarian Tarot is very simplified, I would say. But there is a beautiful space here, and that is the void. Pisces is the void. It is the darkest depths of the ocean, right? So there is some sort of sense of relinquishing control when it comes to Pisces. But how does this relate to Virgo season? Because the moon might be full in Pisces, but really the energy we're getting all juicy with in this season is Virgo. So how does it relate? How does earthy Virgo relate to the darkest, deepest depths of the weird fucking ocean? Well, Virgo is about the journey within, right? And sometimes the journey within means we have to journey within the darkest, deepest spaces. But what does this mean for this season? What does this mean for us as a collective right now? You're asking a lot of questions, viewer, and I really need you to just hang on a bit. What we're kind of tapping into right now is a lot of energy around the release with this card, right? It's a big release. Moon is here to remind us that it is within the liminal spaces that we may journey, into the darkest spaces we may journey, and into the darkest night of the soul we may be. But one thing to remember with Virgo is Virgo has the light. We see our hermit here holding the light. We see the hermit in this card almost leaving the chaos that is around them. Again, with this deck, we kind of have to read in to open space and closed spaces because there's not a lot of information that each card gives us. But we have the light. The light, as I've said before, is very important. That's the whole shtick of this card. We carry the light that gets us through. Now, this space here kind of indicates that we can remain calm in the chaos. We can organize the unorganized, right? And with the moon, we can be asked to journey into the void with our light. That might be an invitation in this illumination for us right now, is that we journey in through the void with our light. What's the void? Let's talk a little bit more. Next deck, let's go to the Smith Waite. So again, we see the moon is here. And we see the two towers that are here as well. Again, this is traveling into the void. But there's also something very primal here. We have animals like giving energy to the moon. They are energized. They are looking up. They are being moved. So there's this primal need with this moon in Pisces, right? The hermit again reminds us that we have the light. The journey will be long and arduous, but we are being asked to enter a very liminal space this full moon. Again, it is primal and it's also primordial. We see the water is present here and we see the animals coming up from the primordial goo. Again, there's almost water being kind of like talked about or hinted at in this card, but I feel like the space in the moon is more Piscean energy as far as what we can pick up. Now, this card, we actually see water. We see the rays of the moon. We see almost this download that can bring us home to self. Again, we are the gatekeepers. We understand where we must go because our light illuminates as far as we need to go. So again, something to think about here is how do we connect back and open ourselves up to the journey through the liminal space, through the primordial goop. I've talked about the primordial ooze in past videos. How can we be fully set to transition through these darkest spaces and deepest, darkest waters? We have the light. We have the ability. What is the ability to do? Let's look at the 8th House Tarot for our little closing thoughts. The 8th House Tarot has the Moon card, which is labels Pisces at the top. I don't know if you can see there. But we see this card with, again, this primal, the animals are present. We see this passageway, this journeying through the liminal space, the journey through the primordial ooze, the journey through the darkest night of the soul, possibly, but not this time. Why not this time, Lauren? Well, I mean, for you, it might be. I don't know what's going on in your life, and this is a collective, just illumination, right? So I can't speak to you direct, but what we can kind of look at and observe here, we see this little babbling brook. We see the illumination of the full moon and its full presence here. But let's look at Virgo in the Hermit. We see ourselves as the Hermit, yes? We see the light that the Hermit carries as our light, yes? The illumination that we give. But here we don't see any light. We see the cocoon, a cocoon, several cocoons. We see a person who has evolved outside of the constructs of the cocoon. There's a connection to lineage here. There's a connection to our lineage, personally, our family lineage, our ability to evolve. There's this relinquishing of control and power. I think I've talked about this in my last Virgo video, but in this transformation of self. Because what is the Hermit doing? Why is the Hermit going on this journey? To transform the self. This isn't just a fucking vacation, friendos. This is a transformation of the self in order to heal the collective. It is the journey to heal oneself to become the healer for others. To become the teacher, we must be the student first. And to break old ancestral wounds, we must break through the structures of the mind, the structures of what we saw as fulfilling of self. No more. Fulfillment is outside of these constructs. They are within the liminal spaces, and the only way we journey to save our souls, to save our family lineage, to continue living in a world that we can feel fully present in and fully aligned with, we have to go through. We must travel through. Reflecting on the past, the primordial ooze, looking into the mirror of the soul and the mind. So, if you were feeling called to work with your ancestors, do it around this moon. If you feel called to work with your angels, your deities, your higher self, your child self, all of that work is prime for this fucking moon. Because it is about the transformative of self and how it reverberates. And not just for others, but for our lives to be fully in the alignment that we want them to be in. So, just some things to think about. If you have a ritual set and you're not really feeling it, that's fine. Know that the work is happening even if we're not conscious of it. But if you're able, if you have the energy to put some energy towards this full moon, even if it's the softest ritual in the world, take some time. Just journaling is a full moon ritual. I'll try and make a video about how to engage with this full moon a little bit more. But I think it's really powerful to reflect on this year, this full moon in Pisces of 2021. What are the structures that don't serve? And what are the invitations to journey? That doesn't have to mean a like physical journey. It can be a journey of the mind, of the heart. Where can we become more open to the dark night of the soul in a way that brings us home to ourselves illuminated? The shadow is not evil. Our wounds are not evil. Our ancestral wounding is not inherently evil. There might be evil things that have happened to us or were done to our family and our lineage, but we are here to go through these dark nights, to transform ourselves for the collective, and fuck the collective sometimes. Just transform for yourself. Change the world by changing yourself. Don't focus on anyone but yourself. We can use the light that we've been building a relationship with and journey through these liminal spaces, journey through these interesting and maybe uncertain opportunities. We can take our tools so that we can structure differently and better by going through the invitation that is being opened to us at this time. So, with that said, I hope this was supportive. I try and keep these short because you have a lot going on. I know, we all do, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. But with that said, if you like how I read, once again, I have other videos that are clearly popping up around me. Click through all those goodies, like, comment, subscribe, because it helps your girl out. And if you want to support. If you don't, it's been nice seeing you. Thanks for stopping by. I miss you so much. Call your mother. Anyway, have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.